Can we do it? Can we bring back the gods?
When Typhon attacked us on the Golden Isle, he crushed us. It was only the arrival of a new god that saved us.
I'm back with the latest DLC in Immortals Fenyx Rising, The Last Gods. And well, this one's definitely taken a different turn. I was presented with this top-down view, and that really changes up the whole formula of what Immortals Fenyx Rising was in the beginning. Obviously a third-person perspective, lots of action, and the whole view itself really was changed on its head with the Lost Gods. The Lost Gods top-down view really kind of turned me off of the game, to be completely honest. The formula here has really changed. When you're playing Immortals Fenyx Rising and all the other DLC, you are there in this third-person perspective where you can oversee the vistas, and the camera angles are a lot easier when it comes to the world of combat. Here, you're in a more of a brawler top-down perspective, and that's okay, but I still want to be able to see more. And because you're so far out, you don't actually get to see all the details of your new hero, Ash. Coming back to Immortals Fenyx Rising, apparently Zeus hasn't turned out to be the nice guy he once was when we left off. The story has changed in the fact that the gods have gone because they can't stand Zeus. He's ticked them off to make them kind of go out and set up their own place in their own kingdom. So now that they have their own area, it turns out the rest of the world for the mortals has really taken a turn for the worst. That's where our latest hero, Ash, steps in. Fenyx is on a mission to find who can help bring back the gods. And well, our latest hero, Ash, is just that mortal. The story feels much more similar in the sense of the humor and the way the dialogue unfolds compared to Immortals Fenyx Rising original game. Not the latest DLC, where Mists of the Eastern Realm kind of felt like it was taking a back seat when it came to the writing. This one feels much more whimsical, a lot more charm and personality was placed into the Lost Gods, and the story is what kind of kept me going forward. Unfortunately, it was hindered by a lot of the actual game mechanics and game changes when it came to playing Lost Gods. The Lost Gods' latest adaptation here now changes up the formula on a lot of things with the whole altars. You need to go to your altar. We did that back in the original, so you can then customize Fenyx. That's great, but it also, this time around, changes up how you save the game. That's right, in order to save the game, you need to have resources to offer to the gods in order to save. No longer can you just hit the start button and hit save. You know, the basic principle of how you save a game: hit start, save the game, you're good to go. Not this time. You need to have resources, figs, out in the wild, gather up those resources, bring them to an altar, offer them to the gods, and then save your game. Yeah. Why would they do that? I'm not quite sure. Wasn't too thrilled by that mechanic of the game. And then if you want to do any fast travel, if you're looking to kind of bounce around the map, which is huge, there is so much to do in here. The map is massive, feels very Immortals Fenyx Rising-esque when it comes to the original game. It's a large scope of a game, which is fantastic if you can get past the camera angle and some of these mechanics they've changed, because when it comes to the world of fast travel, you need to go to the altar again. No longer can you just hit start, pause the game, pull up the map, select where you want to go because you've been to that viewpoint before, and then fast travel. They've taken that out. They made you go from one altar to another altar. Again, another change that just doesn't resonate with me. When this, to me, feels like its own game, not Immortals Fenyx Rising DLC. It feels like they've taken what they've kind of had a little bit in the feel of Immortals Fenyx Rising and just went out and created their own thing. I get it's a separate DLC, but at the same time, it lost a lot of the mechanics that we had in the previous game, and the DLC for that matter. This will wrap up my review of Immortals Fenyx Rising, The Lost Gods, and it's an unfortunate review. This isn't what I was hoping for the last piece of DLC coming out of the game. This seems to be like its own game, its own spin-off. This isn't really kind of tying in with what I was hoping we would have when it comes to the context of Immortals Fenyx Rising. The story's there. We do have Fenyx, and she kind of wraps up and then pushes us forward into the game. The dialogue and the writing is fantastic. The art style is incredible. But the core mechanics of the game being changed so drastically for me, it was really off-putting. And simple things like the save function or the fast travel was just a mystery of why that was changed at all. And then the same powers again are back for the third time. I don't understand. Third piece of DLC, getting the same things again, just isn't enough to help me want to kind of keep going into this game. The world itself is huge, but who wants to explore it when I wasn't exactly all that thrilled in the first place? For me, this is an unfortunate one and pretty disappointing. And it leaves me with The Lost Gods out of 5. The Lost Gods' change in gameplay mechanic may appeal to some, but with such a drastic move in camera and gameplay direction, it felt like a whole different game. However, the voiceover and great charm and dialogue is still there for those to enjoy.
I've always never wanted something this gross.
Well, you might not want it, but it would sure make a nice sacrificial offering.